Hey guys, welcome back to Spillage Studios. We got a special Slashcast video today. We are joined with our guest, Sam, from Sam Talks Movies. He's our first guest of 2026. I almost said 2024. I was like, we're 2 years off right there. But he's our first guest of 2026. I'm super stoked. He's very, very knowledgeable about film, very passionate about it. I'd like you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Of course. A lot of praise there for knowing a lot about film. I feel like I don't know anything half the time, but happy to be here, excited to be here with you. Like you mentioned, my name is Sam. I am a lover of all things film. I watch movies all the time, been watching movies since as long as I can remember, so I'm excited to chat about all things movies today.
Yeah, and you must love horror because you're coming on a horror podcast, so that's exciting.
Yeah, horror.
So guys, we're going to be talking about 2026 horror, especially this summer. Some releases coming out. But first, I kind of want to ask you some questions. So, what is your 4 favorite... I guess this is a letterbox. You're wearing the perfect hat for it. So I guess this is your letterbox question. 4 favorites, horror edition.
4 favorites, horror edition.
Why is it Scream 7?
You know, how mighty the...
Sorry, no shade.
No, I haven't even seen Scream 7 yet, so I know I'm probably going to watch it at some point. I just don't want to pay to watch it, so that's been my thing. But Letterboxd top 4 horror edition... I think right off the dome, I'm going to go with John Carpenter's The Thing. I think that's a perfect movie. I think it's his best movie, which might be a hot take. I don't know. I haven't seen all of John Carpenter's movies, but I've seen most of them. So The Thing is one. Second on my list would be Cure, which is something I watched recently.
Okay.
When I've been on a Criterion Collection kick whenever they have like their sales and stuff, and I was able to... Someone suggested it to me, and then I was like, well, you know what? Perfect opportunity for me to go and watch it. So then I watched it, and I was very creeped out for probably a couple days after watching it. The next 2, right off the bat, are a little bit more recent. Paranormal Activity, the first one. Really the first 3. I actually think the first 3 are really good, and then everything else.
I would go as far as to say the first 4.
And
maybe that's controversial, but
the 4th, I feel like the 4th one is when like things started to get like, okay, like where are we going with this? But I would agree. I don't think the fall off is at 4. The fall off is very much after that, I think, or they're
the marked ones.
The marked ones. Yeah. I forget what the last one was called. I think it was
Ghost Dimensions.
Yeah. They tried to tie it all together. It didn't really work. And then the 4th one will be The Ring, 2009,
okay.
the American version of The Ring. I do like the original too, but the American one with Naomi Watts, I think. That movie I watched, I was way too young, and I was properly creeped out and scarred for a couple weeks. So
yeah, it wouldn't be an experience if you're watching a movie way too young. I think one of the first horror movies I watched was The Hills Have Eyes, the 2006 one.
Oh, I have not seen the 2006
one.
Great
movie. Great movie for a 10-year-old to get introduced to horror.
I mean, that's what it's all about. I haven't seen the 2006 one, but
it's brutal.
That's what I've heard. I've also heard that it's a pretty good remake.
I think it's phenomenal too. It's very well done. It's pays homage to Wes Craven's original too. I really enjoyed it. It's made by the same director that directed Piranha, weirdly enough.
Oh, is
the
it?
2010 one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
It's not Crawl.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so it's those are two bangers.
It's definitely up up that alley. But he uses a lot of practical effects too, a lot of practical gore.
Mm-hmm.
It's really well done. Recommend it if you haven't seen it yet.
It is on my watch list. I want to watch the original and then watch the. I've seen the original, but I don't really remember it. It's like categorizing those movies that I know I've seen, but I'm like,
I have too many of those.
Yeah, I'm like, if you ask me to describe what was happening, I probably could give you the gist, but I'm like, I know I've seen it. I need to rewatch it.
That's me anytime I watch the 1977 Suspiria. I'll be like, yeah, this movie's amazing. All right, tell me what it's about. Just give me a minute.
It looks incredible.
Visuals are fabulous. The cinematography, fabulous. Dario Argento, fabulous. Okay, what was your favorite part? Yeah, just give me another day.
Yeah, let me rewatch it, actually.
So I guess that leads into also great picks. I actually haven't seen The Ring yet. So,
okay.
But besides that, I think The Thing is one of the best movies ever made. I will stand on that ground. I think it's a top 10 movie of all of cinema. I think it's a top 10 movie of all. It somehow gets better every single time I watch it.
Yeah,
there's no movie that does that other than The Thing.
Well,
it gets better every single watch.
And it has that rewatchability, not just because obviously you're not sure, who's the thing, and obviously spoiler warning for the 40-year-old, 50-year-old movie, but when they get to the end and you don't know if either one is still the thing, I like you go back and try to rewatch and try to like pinpoint, okay, did it happen here? Did they switch over here? But it is. I think John Carpenter perfecting his monster horror.
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree that. I'm glad it's your number one pick. I'm really hyped about that. Which is, I feel weird about that because I have this weird like stubbornness of having Halloween as my first favorite on my Letterboxd top 4. I'm just too stubborn to be like, I honestly think as I get older I like The Thing more. And I honestly think it is my number one, but I'm just like, I have that stubbornness and like that deep nostalgia with the original Halloween. I'm like, I can't do that to my Halloween to remove it as number one. No, I just can't do it. I don't have the heart to do it.
I feel you there. It's difficult too because Halloween is like a perfect slasher, and everything since then is just kind of mimicking what Halloween did really well. So, and I feel like with The Thing, I don't know, I can't really think of a lot of movies that try to do, that at least attempt to do what The Thing does.
Honestly, there hasn't been a movie that kind of aims for that style The Thing does and just succeed in the way like John Carpenter was able to like execute it. Yeah. Like I just can't, I think it's in its league of its own. I can't really think of a movie that's like matched even the 2011 one. I don't think that one's as bad as like everyone makes it out to be, but it just missed like the whole point of what made the original great.
Is the 2011 one, is it a prequel?
It is a prequel.
Okay.
The events of 2011, spoiler alert again for the 40-year-old movie, but the events of 2011 take place right before, so it leads into the beginning of the thing.
Okay.
Like John Carpenter's.
Gotcha.
Where the dog's like running out into the snow as the Thing. That's kind of where it ends and the Thing begins. So it's like a perfect transition, but again, it missed a lot of the points that made it great.
Well, that's what happens when you don't got John Carpenter behind the camera. What are
all right, guys, that's the end of the podcast. The Halloween episode. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
That's it. We covered it. The King of Horror. That's it. There's this
2026 summer release. That's the only two movies you need. That's a winter horror movie and a summer slasher.
That's the blueprint.
That's um. So what are so how did you get? I'm just curious. This is a weird transition, but how did you get into film? What were some of your like inspirations? Do you have any
Um,
weird movies that weirdly inspired you, or just?
no,
Or I'm kind of curious just about your background.
no super weird movies. Growing up, I mean, and still honestly to today, growing up, I would not be able to sleep at night. And I played all the sports growing up, but whenever I wasn't doing that, I was just home a lot. And I would either
Mm-hmm.
get home before my parents got back from work most nights and most days, and I would just throw something on TV. I was lucky enough where there was a period of time where my parents had HBO and Showtime, so I would just
Ooh.
when I would get back home, I would just throw up whatever was playing on either of those two channels, and I would just watch movies literally like all day, and then at night especially, which is when they would play. Um, Usually, they would play something that was either terrifying or they would be playing a lot of um, commercials or ads for like horror movies coming out, and like those like kind of
Yeah.
shitty like January February horror movies, something like The Uninvited, um, or something like that would come on, and I'd be
What
like,
the 20 Ouija or this is probably later on, but like Ouija.
yeah,
Remember that movie?
yeah, like the first Ouija or like any of those things where like you can tell the studio put like $1 million behind something, Truth or
Yeah.
Dare, that kind of brand of horror movie. But as a kid, it would kind of I'd be interested because it would like all of it would freak me out, just because like to see scary images on the
Yeah.
TV. But that was really the like I say this with hindsight, but like with in the moment, I really do love the idea of a world being created and being able to like go into something and just kind of forget about whatever is going on for
Yeah.
an hour, 2, 3 hours, and like that was really not exactly horror related, but the growing up, my parents were worried that I wasn't showing enough emotion or whatever, and they took me to the theater to see the Iron Giant on like a re-release in theaters, and I remember watching it in theaters, but they told me that like they took me to go see it. It's the scene where obviously the Iron Giant is going up to save you know Earth basically,
Superman.
and doing his Superman moment, and apparently I was just like bawling my eyes out in the theater, and it's one of those moments where like I think back to any time I have a moment like that now or recently, and it's like, well, that's why I like the movies. That's why I like going to the movies. It's why I like thinking about um, people who create these worlds and viewing experiences to escape mine for a
Yeah.
couple
And
hours.
I think you can capture like so many memories with film too. And like there's you probably relate to this too, but there's just like certain people that you went to go see this movie with. Like recently I saw Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah.
Me and my mom went to go see it, and we don't really go to the movies that often.
Mm-hmm.
And but when that movie came out, she was a big fan of the first one. I was a big fan of the first one, and so that was a cool. I think like stuff like that is really cool that you can have like connections with other people, and it can be from different types of movies. Anything from like horror and just like kind of what you were saying, like it just it's an escape from the world for
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 hours, and you're just like so invested. You're like immersed on the screen, and I think that's what makes cinema like magical.
It is.
And I think that's why I love cinema so much. It's just like you said, it's like an escape from the world, and you feel like you're in that world. You just feel, I guess this sounds cheesy, but like you feel like yourself
Yeah,
in those
yeah.
moments.
And you get the windows into people's experiences.
Yeah.
As obviously, I feel like as I get older, at least like you start um, you start trying to think about like the choices that are made in films, like what's trying to be conveyed, and then exactly what you said, like you know, I don't get me wrong, I love going to a movie by myself, but it is a lot better when I can go with friends or family, and then we can kind of dissect or talk about it after the fact and be like, okay, well, this impacted me here, but do you think that's what they were trying to go for? What do you think this meant? I have no idea what that imagery was doing, but like that's that whole idea of like sharing and kind of just not thinking about what is maybe presently happening in your moment, and maybe even being reminded of like how certain things reflect our current moment here in the chaotic, crazy world that we live in. So, and then the second part to answer that question, my brother works in the film industry, so
that's awesome.
It's all come very naturally. Half the time, especially now, he's constantly sending me scripts and stuff, and like we'll read through it, and I'll give notes, and I'll be like, we should do this, or I really like this. What are we gonna make? Are we gonna maybe cobble up a Kickstarter and try to make this into something? But he's in the industry, but he does kind of a little bit of everything. He's a DP. He edits. He
Jack
colors.
of all trades.
You kind of need to be when the market is what it is. So
yeah, and I'll give a shout out to, as I know my aunt and uncle from the How Could He podcast, I know they're listening to this right now, so they are the reason I love film. They started taking me to, they are the biggest cinephiles I know. Started taking me to film festivals when I was young, and just like, they really immersed me into this world of film. And when they got started to actually make their own films, start to write more, I became really inspired. I'm just like, well, this is something like I can do. This is what I want to do. Write films, work on films, whatever it is. You can throw me on as the guy that gets coffee on set. I just want to be there. And so it was really cool getting to work as, in my very little film experience working on sets. But, shout out to them for giving me the opportunity to work on a couple film sets as a PA, because I know they're listening to this. So shout out to them.
Shout out to uncle and auntie. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So do you have any other... I guess my final question is, what is your, which we kind of went over this, but what is your favorite horror movie or franchise?
Oof, that's a difficult one. There's a bunch.
Scream 7's already taken.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Scream 7 is off the board.
Stop throwing shade to Scream 7.
I mean, it's fine. No, Scream 7's off the board, so, and that whittles it down. It really does. The first one, the first two that come to mind, and I watched all of these again when I was probably way too young to be watching any of these horror movies, but Child's Play, love that franchise. I recently, my girlfriend hadn't seen any of them besides I think the first one, so we did a rewatch of all of the movies. At least I know there's a TV show.
They're fantastic.
They're so good. Even the ones I was worried because I hadn't seen the latest, what's it called, Curse, I think, the last live action film,
Cult of Chucky,
or Cult of Chucky. Yeah, that was the only one I hadn't seen, but I had seen the rest, and I was a little worried where, with how things were going. But the whole franchise, even when it gets a little like over the top and ridiculous, I love that crazy little doll.
Yeah. I adore Chucky. My girlfriend, couple Christmases ago, she got me the Child's Play 2 Chucky doll replica.
Nice.
And it's just sitting out in the hallway. But it's so funny. We'll have people over and they'll like turn the corner, just like jump like 5 feet when Chucky's just like sitting down. But it's so awesome.
You got him in like the original. Box.
Not even the box either. No, he's just sitting down there. He's just sitting on the floor.
Just casually. Yeah. They're like, "Are you comfortable
next
with
to
that?" It's like,
next to this like Texas chainsaw from the 15th anniversary.
mm-hmm.
So it's Chucky, then you have the chainsaw right next to it. So perfect combination. Totally normal.
No, I mean, it's that's what collecting all those things are for. All right,
Yeah.
that's when you have people
That's
over.
what the nerds are for, man.
Like, what the hell else are we gonna do with all of that? I think the other. I was gonna say one more, and I'm like, there's so many. The other franchise
Yeah.
that I really love is Friday the 13th and the Evil Dead
Really?
franchise. Yeah,
Okay.
I think there are a couple Friday the 13th sequels that are not great, but I do think there are some gems in in the
Freddy
later
versus
ones.
Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason is a lot of fun. It's so much fun.
Phenomenal. I love
It's
that movie.
it's way more fun than it has any right to be. And the I think it actually delivers on like its premise in a fun and inventive way. So I even would say Jason X is like not the greatest movie in the
Yeah.
world when they go to space, but also like um, they do
I
make
think
use
Jason
of it.
Goes to Manhattan is hilarious.
Yeah, that's another one.
So funny.
It's really funny, and it has no I it's so easy, I think, too, like people forget that like something like that can be made and people go, "Oh, it's really dumb," or "It's not a lot of fun." It could be boring. It could be
Yeah.
boring. And I don't think any of those movies are boring. Now, whether you feel so for those characters or whether there's really any substance to that story, I think is a separate thing. But I don't think those
Yeah. I
movies are
mean, if they're
boring.
exactly like if they're, you can clearly tell they're not going for an Academy Award. And if they
No.
were, like, I'd be definitely concerned. But they're not. They're going in there to have fun. They're fun movies. That's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, they're fun slashers. What are there any that you really liked or enjoyed growing up? Any horror franchises?
Um, the more I could obviously go with the basic answer and say Halloween, but when I really like narrow it down,
Mm-hmm.
I like. For me, I'm a big Halloween 3 truther.
Okay. Actually,
That
no.
that to me is the second best in the franchise, which I know
Yeah.
is might be a hot take for some people.
I don't really. It's.
You know,
I mean, it's definitely a
how do you
hot.
feel?
It's
Are you a
definitely.
Halloween 3 fan?
I am a Halloween 3 fan. I
Okay.
like it. So this is my bias coming in. I'm like, it really is the second best movie in the franchise. I know there's other people who like some of even the newer ones, and I have thoughts on the newer ones, but um,
Yeah.
it does something different. I mean, Michael's not even in it, so um,
Yeah, it's definitely I don't know. It's definitely a franchise I think needs to reinvent itself a little bit. So I don't want to go with Halloween just because, like, if I really dive into every single film, I'm like, how many do I like truly like? Like, there's only a handful
yeah.
of good ones, and it's obviously the original three, 2018,
Okay. Have you seen the Rob
4.
Zombie ones?
Uh, bits and pieces. I just can't get into it.
I will say I'm not. I usually don't love Rob Zombie's style, and I think sometimes it gets a little too. I don't even want to say violent because like they're Halloween movies. They're all violent, but I think his Halloween 1 and 2, once you get past some of like his imagery, which I think is a little distracting more than anything else, or like his sort of like gritty, grimy kind of style of directing, which I don't really vibe with. I think there's a really depressing but like sense there's like a sense of dread in his two movies for Halloween that I think are actually really interesting, more interesting than anything that's happened in any of the other sequels, where like there's he's like really interested in this idea of like when people go through like these incredibly traumatic experiences, how do they respond to it, and like what effect does that have on them, and like I said, he then does way too much in the some of the violence is kind of like, okay, Jesus, all right,
Yeah.
we get it. But like, I think those themes do come through in those movies where I'm like, if we're not gonna like, if you're not gonna make this just like your standard slasher or whatever, which like for that you just watch the original or you watch the 2018 version, I'm like, that's an interesting way of like, oh, we're using this to explore like generational trauma and grief. um, and I think it had like some interesting ideas, but it's definitely not. Wouldn't say it's everyone's cup of tea. I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting going into watching it to just hate them, and I was like, oh, this is so depressing. This is actually like really sad, but it's really good. And for those like parts of the story that it handles.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, I might have to go with your answer too. I think Child's Play, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is, if you really narrow it down to the whole catalog of films, it's the most consistent. You could argue Evil Dead's the most consistent too.
Yeah.
But I think the Chucky franchise, I love the TV show.
I need to watch the TV show.
TV show A Little Dirty. I think it's phenomenal. It's perfect if you're a fan of like the original Child's Play series.
That's what I've heard, and it blends all the movies together too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was really surprised how well it's done.
Well, and we're getting another movie from Mancini, I think.
Yep. Supposed to be next year, so we'll see how that goes if they actually do it.
I feel like for some reason,
I hope they do.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that can't find a studio to give him a couple $1 million to make a Chucky movie. It's not like especially the newer ones. It's not like they were super high production movies,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and as much as I was joking about Scream 7 a bunch in this podcast, but honestly, like, Scream is another one of my favorite franchises. I love Scream 4.
Oh, it's so underrated.
I think it's phenomenal.
No one
I just
talks
rewatched it not too long ago, and I was like, man, Wes Craven did such a phenomenal job on that.
No, everyone
it's so good.
Everyone wants to talk about obviously the first Scream, right? It's like, yes, given. And then Scream 2, and I'm like,
Scream 4 is the second best one.
Yeah, Scream 4 is the second best Scream sequel.
It's the second best one.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that, because I do not know many people who even have it in like their top 3.
I'm a Scream 4 truther.
Because Scream 4 also does what the Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega movies do. And it did it like 15 years ago. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, we kind of already got the new reboots before Wes had his foresight of where people doing what we're doing right now, talking about horror movies and vlogging and all that stuff. Like, I don't even think it's dated at all. Also,
it's so like beyond its time too.
Yeah, it was
like you were saying, the concepts. I was rewatching. I was like, man, they're talking about like digital media age in 2011, probably 2010 when they filmed it.
Yeah, and he probably wrote the script before then, so it was like, that is a criminally underrated Scream sequel.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Well, we've spent the first 30 minutes of the podcast going through a whole overview of past horror movies, so I think we need to transition to current horror movies. And I think I kind of want to start with the beginning of 2026, so before the summer blockbusters. So do you have a favorite so far that you've seen horror-wise? I don't think I've honestly seen that many horror so far this year, so I don't really feel like I have a confident answer.
Yeah, I don't think
But do you have any like highlights so far?
Highlights of horror this year? I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen that many horror movies this year. I saw Faces of Death.
Okay.
And I really I will say, I'll preface this with, I have no connection to the other like movies, properties, whatever Faces of Death the new one is based on. No connection to those, so I can't really compare to how it iterates or doesn't on those. But I really liked Faces of Death. The trailer turned me off initially when I saw it, but I thought it was going to be something just completely different than what it was. But I really liked Faces of Death. Barbie Ferreira is really good in that, and I can't remember his name, but he was in Stranger Things.
Power Ranger guy.
Yeah, Power Ranger guy. He's excellent. He's really, really good. Did you see Faces of Death?
I did. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Okay.
Like, honestly, I had no expectations going into it, and yeah, I thought the guy that played, like, I'm blanking on his name. I cannot think of it for the life of me.
I know. I can't think of it now either.
I thought his performance was the best. I liked that. It was like a little cheesy, kind of paid.
Yeah, it was very it was very meta.
A little bit.
It was very meta.
It was very like on purpose. They were trying to make it over the top, which I enjoy when movies, especially horror, do that. I don't know, something about it just didn't really click with me.
That's fair. I
felt some scenes like repetitive a little bit, but that was just I don't know. Maybe I have to give it a rewatch.
No, it does drag a little bit too in the second act. So yeah, that was one that I enjoyed. I'm also trying to think. I watched Exit 8 in theaters.
Okay.
I'm trying to think just strictly 2026. Exit 8 I thought was honestly as good as a video game to movie adaptation where like there's really no story in the game. Like you are really just walking in circles. I thought they did a pretty good job adapting that, and it falls into kind of like liminal horror vibes that we're going to be clearly getting in the rest of the summer. So oh, and you know what? I started off the year with it. Send Help. We had Sam Raimi Send Help.
You know, I just started watching that last night. Finally.
There you go. Did you?
They finally added it to Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't finish it. I'm one of those people. I will start a movie on a work day at like 11 o'clock at night, fall asleep an hour, and just be like, I gotta resume it. So I still have to watch an hour and a half of it, so I don't really have an opinion yet, but trust in Sam Raimi.
Yeah. How far in did you get? I guess
just the beginning, just when they got onto the island.
Okay. No, it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. It has all the Sam Raimi.
I saved it I was like watching it. I started to get sleepy. I was like, nope, I gotta save this. Like I feel like this is gonna just amp up, and I gotta be invested.
Yeah, he ratchets up the violence, and the camera work is really great in it. Also, it's so funny that Dylan O'Brien is playing like Rachel McAdams is like this like disgusting person, and I'm like, you're on an island with Rachel McAdams.
Like, I thought Sam Raimi's so funny. He just made her like, it was funny how he like made her like this Rachel McAdams, like the mean girl, girl from The Notebook. He made her like this like dorky like unlikable character. I'm like, that's Rachel McAdams we're talking about.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't know. I think I'd be okay with. I could put up with some of these things if it's Rachel McAdams. But
yeah, honestly, like I haven't really seen that many horror movies this year. So far, I'm trying to I'm honestly blanking of what I've seen. Half, like I said, 1/4 of Send Help, Faces of Death.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like. And for stuff that...
Undertone is one.
Oh, Undertone.
I have yet to see.
Okay.
But I heard mixed things about it.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I think if... It's very much like Paranormal Activity. Like an auditory version of Paranormal Activity. So... And I don't think it overstays its welcome, though. It's like 80 minutes. It's pretty short.
Okay.
So... And it's like all set in the same house. Like, you don't ever really leave the house or when
Yeah.
she's recording the podcast. I did see a lot of people say that they were underwhelmed. That I do wonder how it'll replay at home, because I went to go see it in like Dolby, with the Dolby sound, and there weren't a lot of people in my theater, so like when it was like quiet and you're like listening to them talk on the podcast and they're listening to the recordings and you're like, what the hell was that? Was that in the theater? Like, I think that adds to it, but I do wonder how much that's gonna work when like you throw it on at home and you're like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, and I don't know if you consider Forbidden Fruits horror or not.
It's like a horror comedy.
But that's another movie. That's another movie I've been trying to see, and Whistle as well, which I think is going to be added to.
Oh, is that
Shudder? But
is that the one with Daphne Keane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's on my watch list.
That's on my watch list. It's going to be added to Shudder soon. But other than that, that's kind of my extent. I'm probably missing one, and I'll look at my letterbox later and just be like,
it's like, there it is.
Probably saw some Academy Award-winning film I watched and just never.
No, I think the last
talking about it.
Oh, the 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Oh, I still haven't seen it yet. No, it's on Netflix right now, but still have to watch it.
It is. Yeah, I hope we get a third one.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that we're gonna get a third one. It's just that everyone's busy. So
busy for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No,
But no, yeah. I hope they make a third one.
I think the only other 2026 release was Ready or Not 2, which mixed feelings on that one. I don't think that's a movie that needed a sequel, and I was happy that it's all the same creative team that came back. But have you seen it?
I haven't. I watched the first one in preparation of seeing the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I just never ended up going to see.
What did you think of the first one?
So, I really enjoyed the first one.
Okay.
I thought it was surprising.
Yeah, the first one. The first one is like witty. It has like its own meta take. I do feel like the second one tries to do like a John Wick-esque like expansion of the world, and it's like it almost feels like it's trying to justify itself a lot, or it's like, look how big this thing can be, and it's like, I don't know, did we need to come back?
That's what I fear is like the issue with most sequels too that we face. They just really try to expand more, I think, of what the original was like trying to do.
Yeah, and if there's something new or interesting to say, it's kind of like, we can just let things be. Or we go the Evil Dead route and just let a new director take over each time.
Yeah, which, speaking of Evil Dead, I think is a perfect transition to talk about, we talked about kind of being Debbie Downers about the beginning of 2026, but now we'll transition to an exciting year coming up, especially in summer, especially coming up in the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So summer 2026 releases. So I think I'll kind of go in release order. I don't have it in front of me this second, so I'm probably going to miss one or two. Obsession comes out next weekend.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's our big first one by Curry Barker. I've been saying Baker this whole time.
Oh, is it
and
not?
My friend is the one that... my friend's like... He goes, yeah, it's actually Barker. I'm like, you got to be joking. I've been saying Baker this whole time. So
have I.
Barker. Yeah. So Curry Barker is director of that, and I started watching him when he directed Milk and Cereal. And I remember watching that on YouTube, and I was just blown away. He continues to blow me away every single time he's working on a new project. He's probably gonna be the biggest directing name in the next 5 years. He's gonna be working.
Well, it's
kind of Grace style.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first saw the trailer for Obsession, I did not make the connection that it was Curry Barker directing, writing, or any of it. I was like, I saw the trailer and I was like, that looks great. That looks good.
Yeah.
And then I saw a picture of him and I was like, is that the? And I don't know him from any of his other work. I know him from TikTok from the shorts that he's put out. And I was like, is that guy? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, we're really in an era of like these studios picking these YouTube creators, content creators, and giving them a budget to actually work with.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think actually, we have 2 YouTuber directors coming up because of the Backrooms.
Yeah,
and he's 20 years old, which is just crazy to think about.
Which means they gave him that contract and that money when he was what, 18, 19?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm at 18 taking my senior photos at a comic book shop. And this man's directing an A24 film.
It's like
which is just crazy to think about.
It's like I was over here
absolutely crazy,
not knowing what I wanted to do with life in general, going to college, and then I was like, this guy's getting a $10 million budget to go make his literal dream project, like his actual baby. Yeah.
But it's going to be insane. I will be very underwhelmed if it's anything short of good. I think it's going to be, it looks great. I'm also a person that doesn't really like diving too much into trailers.
Yeah.
I watch maybe 1 or 2 trailers and then just kind of cut it at that. But everything I've seen promotion-wise for this movie just looks phenomenal. I'm really excited to see how it does. But Obsession is another movie I'm really anticipated for, and that comes out next weekend. So those are two movies I think in May that are going to be the highlights. Horror-wise, obviously we have Mandalorian and Grogu. It's not horror, but I think those movies are definitely going to be undershadowed by Mandalorian and Grogu with box office wise.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll see, because I saw Mando was clocking in at like, they were looking at like 80 to like 100 mil, which is not great for Star Wars, I think, historically, but also when you're, a small horror movie, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff out right now, which means like it's just a matter of like theater space too. I'm in the same boat. I'll be interested to see how Backrooms does, because it'll be the second weekend that Mando comes out, and it's, even when I went to go get tickets from the theater near me, they only had 4 showtimes, and maybe they're gonna add. Wow. I think maybe they're gonna add more, but Mando literally, there was like 22 showtimes for Mando in every single premium format. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe that's getting like 10 of the 15 theaters. And Backrooms is stuck with just 1 or 2. So
yeah, I'm very interested to see. It would be kind of funny if like Backrooms ended up making like 100 million.
I think,
but honestly, with its audience, Backrooms has a huge like they would be like the Jets if they made the playoffs this year. Like,
whoa,
they got some underdogs.
Whoa. I got faith in Geno Smith. Okay, he's. Right. But
that's funny.
No.
And then I'm trying to think, is there another May release this year? Did I miss one? I don't think I did.
I don't think so. It's Obsession, and I think Backrooms are the 2 biggest.
Yeah.
For me. Oh, there's this other one that I've been seeing. I'm gonna blank on the name now, but I think there's another one coming out this month, but it's not a wide release. It's like a sci-fi horror movie that now I'm completely blanking on. But
The Thing 2.
The Thing 2. That's what that's what we're getting.
I kind of wanted to talk about some like recent trailers. So the one, I guess I'll start with, I briefly mentioned this on the last episode of the podcast, but this time we actually got the official trailer. Evil Dead Burn. And I saw the trailer. I'll be the first to say I am probably in the minority on this, but something didn't click with me. It didn't click with me. It looked a little like Tubi-ish. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and I saw that there's like multiple trailers of the same. There's the green band trailer, the red band trailer, and then the teaser that they put out, and they're all different.
The teaser was phenomenal.
Yeah, I like the teaser.
When I talked about the teaser on the last episode, I talked about how much I really loved this teaser and how it felt like they were really going to go back to its roots of like the 2013 and like Evil Dead 2. But I watched this like red band trailer and it just, something about it just like felt really off.
Yeah, I had the same feeling honestly when they were putting out the first look photos, and I was just sitting there going, why is it lit like that?
Yeah, it's just very like gray. Something about it like
it's like that.
It feels almost like video game-ish. I don't know how to really describe it.
And I haven't seen I don't remember the director's last name, but I think his first name is Sebastian. I haven't seen his other stuff. I've heard good things. I think he has like a spider horror movie situation that I'm gonna probably check out before watching Evil Dead Burn. But I've heard people say good things about him, so I'm like, I'm trying to hold on to the fact that maybe they're trying to not show too much in the trailer, and like we're just getting these sort of weird bits that don't necessarily make sense or look good to out of context. I would also argue though that just still makes it a bad trailer. But
I right away when my friend like texted me, he's like, this looks like a B movie. And again, I hate like throwing shade at like directors and like movies and stuff, but yeah, I don't know, this trailer just did not click with me, and I had really high expectations because I'm a big fan of Rise. I think Rise is a great movie, especially Evil Dead movie. It's great. It checks off all the boxes.
So do I. I liked it more than...
Great characters.
I liked it more than 2013.
You like more 2013?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Because
me too.
I felt like the 2013 one just doesn't have any humor. It is...
Yeah,
but
that's what this Burn one looks like too.
And that's what has me worried when I saw the one of like the aggregator like Evil Dead accounts was putting out, and it's probably just rumors, so I will preface with that it is likely just them speculating, doing what people do online and posting. But they were like, oh yeah, the director's talked about how he, this is going to feel more akin to the 2013 one, and a part of me was like, I really hope that's not the case, because
I'm up there with you.
Yeah, because I think what makes the original 3 and even the TV show really good is that they're like not just, it isn't just Bruce Campbell, like there is like a nice tonal balance between these like horrific things happening and also the kind of like, it's not meta humor, but like the humor that undergirds all of it, of like the devil's making fun of them, and like there is or the demonic forces are toying with them, and there's like a playful,
and those are like some of the best parts of the movie too.
Exactly, like there's a playfulness.
That's why I really loved Rise.
Yeah, and I like Rise felt like closer, especially when the mom like officially turns and she's out in the hallway
with the maggots.
Yeah. Like we get a bunch of those one-liners where I'm like, oh, okay, we're cooking.
Yeah. Or when she just like completely like sauces all those people like outside the door. Like it's crazy. But I just feel like everything like that movie did, and it's like so creepy too, because it's like it feels so isolated. It takes place in this like tiny like claustrophobic apartment.
Yeah.
And there's one really good scene that I love when she's like listening to all those recordings about like the demonic possessions, about the book.
Yeah.
And like how to destroy it, and you just see the mom like crawling through the vent. So good. I love it.
It's great, and it like gets the closest I think to doing what Sam Raimi's did, which is like should
Yeah,
not be
Bruce
like
Campbell just running around crazy.
being like groovy, and like that's why I like the idea of getting a new director each time and like letting them play in the sandbox. But like I would hope that those directors actually play in those sandboxes, because like with the 2013 one, Fede Alvarez did that one, and
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Don't Breathe. I did not like
Yeah.
Alien Romulus, and I didn't like Alien Romulus for similar reasons that I didn't like Evil Dead, um, 2013, because it was just like, okay, we're taking, I think, the better version, and we're kind of just stripping
Yeah.
like some of the things that made it fun or fresh or original, um, and we're like just giving it just kind of like an updated sheen, and I'm like, I don't know, like, and I didn't like hate Romulus or anything. I just it it worries me if like the new directors are going to go into each of these and like take it to a more serious way, when I'm like, you guys have so much room to work with.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and you're not tied to like maintaining any real lore, because you can keep things contained. Like you can just tell a singular story, and you know, uh, it not necessarily going to have any huge impact unless that's what you want, on the rest
Yeah.
of the.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm in the same boat. I really want this to be like a ride. I know it takes place in the same universe as Rise, so I'm just so surprised it took a drastic like swing in tone. Um, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's just a trailer.
Just a
Maybe I'll be
trailer.
blown away when the movie comes out, but my anticipation level is just
It's just
kind of
ever
tanked a
so
little bit.
slightly. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
The trailer that I had a completely opposite reaction to,
Probably the same one I'm thinking right now.
Resident Evil.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because when, oh my God, what's the director's name? Zach Kreger.
Yeah.
When Kreger said he was doing a Resident Evil movie, in the back of my head, I was like, damn it, I want him doing original stuff. Why is he going into this sandbox again? But then he was like, I'm going to do an original movie just set within the universe. And I was like, all right. But I was a little nervous. And then that trailer dropped, and I was like, oh, this looks good.
I watched it I think I'm on my 50th like rewatch of that trailer alone.
It's so good, and I don't he has his his shtick, the house, the door, the way,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way he moves the camera uh, whenever the protagonists in his movies are entering any home, I think is really interesting. But I'm like, oh, this looks like full on Descent into Hell vibes,
Yeah.
and
It it looks like were you a Call of Duty Black Ops player at
yes,
all?
yes.
Do you know what this kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Black Ops 2, the one zombie map, Train.
Oh, the transit. Oh, no, no.
Transit. That's right.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe
Or
that's what I'm thinking about. But the whole um because I know he was going for like this direction of like it being like a Fury Road type of chase,
mm-hmm.
which immediately sold me on
Yeah,
that. I was like, this is gonna be awesome.
the moment I saw
And
reporting of, I wanted to be Fury Road in horror, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, say less. I guess
yeah,
I don't even need to see a trailer. But
and so I'm completely, I will completely back up anyone that's supportive of this movie. I know there's a bunch of like backlash from the fans that are saying it's not, we need Leon Kennedy. I disagree. I think the way Zach Kreger is taking this whole approach is much more effective and I think interesting. I think it's more interesting than just repeating. Like he even said, it's just going to be redundant if we take the same characters, tell the same story, put them into these worlds. All you're doing is just taking that and putting it on film when the stories in the games are already, people are already immersed into those type of worlds. So there's really no need for that. So I think the way he's doing it is just like taking like a random bystander from this Evil Dead world and just putting him into all these like horror scenarios.
Yeah.
10 times more interesting.
Yeah, and plus one to that, I just I don't really ever video game to movie adaptations are already difficult as is, but I never really understand from like a fan perspective. And I did play the Resident Evil games, but I don't have like that strong of attachment to them.
Yeah.
So like, again, prefacing with just that's where I'm coming from, but like with any game to movie adaptation, like Exit 8 I was really excited for. Like I think of you think of a game that doesn't have a ton of story. You have a game that has a really great story, like The Last of Us 2 is another game, video game to just TV film adaptation that you think of. And like, if I wanted the same exact story told in the same exact way with the same exact characters, I would just play the game. Because the game exists and there's a story there and it's fun and it's interesting. I think the harder thing is, which is why I'm glad Kreger is, like you described, like doing what he wants to do, which is just dropping an original character into this world and seeing how they react.
And it's Austin Abrams too.
Yeah,
it's Austin Abrams we're talking about. Like, come on.
As if we're not getting a great lead in the role there. Like, with all of these adaptations, I've talked a little bit about this in some of like the reviews that I've done. Like, if you're not gonna have like the playability or like go like kind of full game mode, which like in Resident Evil in the trailer, like there are plenty of moments where like he picks up a shotgun, he's like grabbing materials and stuff, like in a similar way that like when you're scavenging in the game, like if you're not gonna like have those elements, right? Like if you're gonna tell the same story, it's gonna be like, okay, and then like I'm gonna be watching something that I can't play. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm already bored because I already know what the story is going into it, and then like you lose the playability, which is why the games are fun and the stories are interesting, because you're making choices, even if those choices are kind of fixed within the story. Like you're the one driving that forward, but you lose that when you try to adapt it to film or to a TV show. Like you need to be able to iterate on what's there. So, and it does seem like we're getting like game elements. So I'm like, I just don't really understand some of the
criticisms.
Yeah.
I'm completely with you on that one. Now I'm trying to. I think that's. I wanted to talk about Leviticus too. But I think that kind of transitions into June and July.
I think it does.
Which now we're really diving into some really good ones coming up. So we have, I guess I'll start with Leviticus. We finally got the trailer. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things for the past year about this movie. I think, correct me if I'm mistaken, I think this movie was at, it wasn't Fantastic Fest last year or something like that?
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, some kind of festival, and I just remember hearing a bunch of buzz about this movie, and then we finally got the trailer. I think it's going to look amazing. It looks amazing. Story, I think, is very interesting. I love religious horror, so I'm glad that we're kind of getting another religious horror movie this year. Not too familiar. I know the one cast members from Talk to Me. Not too familiar with anyone else in the movie, but yeah, that's June horror release Leviticus. I'm really excited for. Hear nothing but great things.
I've heard this the same thing, and I think the first time I heard about it, you said Beyond Fest. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was Sundance. I don't remember. But I remember hearing about it and thinking, wow, we are getting just a tremendous amount of horror. And thankfully, I think from now, especially from like May to when Leviticus comes out next month in June, like we're getting like liminal horror. So we had like Exit 8. We obviously had like a Faces of Death remake, reboot, sequel situation. But to your point, I'm glad we're getting some actual mix of like religious horror and not like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever we get a lot of horror movies, we either get like the kind of crappy possession movies, um,
Yeah.
or the like riff on a teen slasher, and you're kind of just hoping that it's at least like fun or the kills are good, and that's like the bar that's set. It's not very high to clear, but
Yeah.
I like the idea of the sort of first love turning into like an actual horror show, and it feels.
Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting.
When I watched the trailer, I got It Follows vibes. So
Yeah, I kind
like,
of did too.
that like it was like, oh, it turns into somebody that you want or that you love, and I was like, okay, It Follows. I was like, that's fine by me. I love It Follows.
Yeah, I kind of got like Cronenberg vibes a little bit from it too.
Mm-hmm. Cause
I don't know, it's just it's up my alley, so I'm very interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, and
Which, speaking of slashers, I think that's a good transition to. I'm gonna pronounce this movie wrong. Camp. How do you say what's the second
I think it's Miasma. Teenage Sex and Death.
Miasma?
Yeah. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
Yeah.
Which is
trailer blew me away.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
I mean, there's no complaints about Jane at all. Phenomenal filmmaker. I saw the TV glow. Blew me away when I watched it. Gillian Anderson's coming to this movie. Cast looks phenomenal. No complaints at all. I'm really excited for this movie.
I think it might be their biggest budget and like the bigger name stars that they've been able to get. So I am.
Yeah, who else? Do you know who else is starring in it?
Hannah Einbender, I think, is the other one. She's in Hacks on HBO. I have only seen a couple episodes of the show. It's like a comedy. She's funny in it. But Hannah Einbender is in it. Who else? Oh, who's the actor from I Saw the TV Glow? The one that
Jack. I'm so I just need to write like a list of like everyone's names. So I have like that's my number one struggle. I like butcher everyone's names, or like I'll forget every actor's name.
I know in the moment.
I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah,
I'm just like, yeah.
Whoever Haven, I think it's Jack Haven. Jack Haven.
Yeah, Jack Haven.
I was like Jack. We got that part right. I think Jack Haven's also in it. It looks really great. I think it's also going to be the first film that they've done that is in this kind of like, I got creepypasta vibes from the trailer, but more so like how it's filmed and less so like the actual, because it is going to be like a teenage slasher situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I very much got the vibe that we are getting this mishmash of their creepypasta online, weird YouTube video type of vibe to a teenage slasher, which I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of other interesting themes in there. So
yeah, knowing Jane, there'll definitely be some weird, very like psychedelic scenes. I'm already picturing it now, how it's gonna look.
Someone's gonna be going through some sort of transformation. I can already.
Moon people.
It feels very. That feels like it's gonna be just a central theme to all of their movies. So
yeah, I love the look of the movies too, because I think I Saw the TV Glow. I don't know, something about the colors in that movie just make the entire experience like 10 times better.
Especially like the purples.
Jane's a master at that, just like blending different colors and like color grading.
And I think once you find out like when they go to the TV series, like when they're playing back the episodes, when Justice Smith is like going back and like, oh yeah, I used to love this show, and and then you actually go and watch the show with the character, and the sort of transition from like the real world, his world to the television series, I'm like, this is she's got they got the juice,
The sauce,
they
yeah.
got the sauce and for the filmmaking, so
Yeah. And then we'll transition to this is another title I'm gonna butcher. Well, we have the Insidious movie coming out too.
mm-hmm.
I think it's number 7.
I think so. Oh God, they've made 7 of those movies. What do you think of the Insidious franchise?
Not a fan.
I like
first couple are okay.
Yeah.
The last one they did, what to me was just unwatchable. I between 2 and 5 or however many there are, I don't think I've really seen them, and if I have, it's just moments and clips.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell you that much about this entire like storyline, or if there's even a connection between the storyline. I enjoy the first couple, it's just as like scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
And but this new one at least seems like they're taking a different route.
It does.
It seems like they're giving more effort and trying.
I do think it looks like it looks like they are trying something different. It looks like they're gonna be at least not doing the kind of haunted house, demonic possession thing is trying to get at it. I forget what they call the other realm or whatever. They're not going to be doing their same formula. So
the upside down.
Yeah, they're upside down. I am interested. It's kind of funny that they keep bringing back the person the older woman. I can't remember her name now, but who is like the bridge between that world and the real world, even though they killed her in the second one. So I'm like, or in the third one. Spoilers. But she's in all the movies, so it doesn't really matter. They keep finding ways to bring her back, even though she's very much not, at least not human anymore.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing Marvel has taught us is
no one's
actually dead. Ever. No one's dead.
We have no stakes.
In every... Yeah, we're going to be watching the next, like, Richard Linklater movie, and there's going to be, the... What's it called in I want to say it's not the paradox. What does Marvel use as their, for nether worlds and dimensions?
Oh, their multiverse stuff?
Their multiverse, yeah. Every director has their old multiverse now, so you can never actually truly kill off characters.
No, they don't believe in having stakes. That would require them to trust filmmakers to make real choices, story choices that benefit the characters.
Hey, and they did. My boy Scott Derrickson, but they canned him.
They did. They really did. They couldn't handle the horror.
He tried. He tried.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on a whole tangent with the MCU. There's so much that they could have done post Endgame, and it really upsets me that they didn't engage with like the most interesting thing they've ever done, which is get rid of half the population and then bring them back.
I think they really shot themselves in the foot when they introduced the multiverse, because to me it just defeats, like you said, we're not going to go on a whole tangent of Marvel, but I think they lost a lot of their value, and it's just hard to go into movies now just thinking like, what are the actual stakes now? Yeah,
and like, is anything we're watching really gonna have like an impact?
Right.
So we'll have to come back on and do a whole ahead of Avengers Doomsday.
And I think the last one I'm going for is the Sophie Thatcher upcoming movie.
Yes.
Her Own Private Hell.
Yes, pretty much. Her Private Hell.
Is that the title?
Yeah. Her Private Hell.
Almost had it.
I have we seen a
I don't think we.
we haven't seen a
No, I
trailer,
don't think
right?
we have. We just seen that really like cool image
Mm-hmm.
with like the pink, purple fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
And Sophie Thatcher. You know, Sophie Thatcher's in. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, she's a
I
great.
think she's a great actress.
Yeah, she was great in oh my god, what was the movie that came out last year with Jack Quaid? Um, Companion.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. She was great in that. I thought she was a highlight in that one. But I'm excited for her Private Hell. I think the cast has like a lot of, like, I don't want to say heavy hitters, but like newer actors who are like on the rise. Like I think Melton's part of that cast. Charles Melton. I think oh my god, the actor from Bottoms. She's been in other stuff, I think. But
Rachel Sennett.
no, not Senate. Havana Rose Liu, the one that Ao it likes in. Um, I think her name is Havana. Havana Rose. God,
Okay.
I'm in the same boat with the names, but it's got a lot of interesting. It's got an interesting cast. So, and
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be very like art housey. So I'm very interested to see how that goes.
yeah, and the director's the same one who did Drive,
Oh yeah,
and Neon Demon.
it's gonna be an art house film.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be weird.
Yeah.
But I love weird, so we'll see if it lands.
The weirder, the better.
Exactly.
That's my advice for any filmmaker out there. Make your film weird. Make it pretty colors, and you got yourselves like a golden ticket.
Pretty much.
I think that is honestly all the horror movies this summer. I don't think I've missed any. Is there any any others that are catching your eye at all?
No, I think all the ones that we talked about are the ones that I'm most excited for. There
Yeah.
is and it's gonna bother me until I can look it up after this, but there's another one that I think got a limited release this week, but I think out of all of the ones that we've talked about so far that are coming up are the ones that I'm most excited about, or the ones that I'm at least definitely gonna go see regardless of, you know, unless we also want to consider Scary Movie that comes out in June.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I thought the trailer looked fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks super funny.
Hopefully not all the jokes are in there. So
It does
We'll
feel
see
like
how it
that.
goes.
I wonder, do we want to do our like sleeper most overlooked,
Yeah,
overhyped,
so-
underhyped?
I think my sleeper pick is gonna be Leviticus, and the only reason I say that is because I think it's sliding under people's radar a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think there's hype around it, but I think it's being overlooked. I think it's gonna be. Let me put it this way: I think it's gonna be the most like critically well liked, and audiences I think are gonna love it. But I think it's gonna be perform underwell compared to some of these other movies coming out. So that's why I have it as my sleeper pick right now. Overlooked, correct, is the next one?
Yeah. What's one
Or
you
overhyped.
we'll have four,
think
so I think we'll do sleeper, overlooked, overhyped, underhyped.
Okay.
So we have sleeper.
I think the most.
Sleeper pick. We have Leviticus. Overlooked.
I think overlooked is probably gonna be. I honestly feel like I weirdly want to say Obsession. Only
Okay.
because I think it's gonna be the only reason I think it's gonna be overlooked. I think because it comes out next week, and I don't think it has as wide of. It's just in a
It's
shitty position.
it's in
to
a
be
bad
honest,
it's in a
with
bad release
the
schedule.
week before Mando, and then after that you have the back rooms.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be one of those movies. It's gonna get general hype the first week it's open, but I think after that first weekend, it's kind of it's gonna shoot them. They're gonna shoot themselves in the foot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, underlooked or underhyped is the next one, right?
Overhyped. Next one.
Overhyped. Evil Dead Burn. We might both agree with that one. Again, I understand like some Evil Dead fans are really excited about it. I didn't feel that way when I watched the trailer.
No.
Like I said, they missed a lot of the cues, I think, of what we both enjoy. Like we both are fans of Rise and Evil Dead 2. So that's my
overhyped.
Most overhyped right now.
And then last one being underhyped.
And then underhyped. I should have really reworded these because
I know. We have a lot of over, under.
Underhyped. I'd probably say. It's tough to say. I don't really think any of them are underhyped right now. Insidious? No, I'm just
somehow, some way. The big franchise is somehow underhyped.
I think underhyped. I guess I'll go with. I don't want to say Resident Evil because that's not underhyped. I feel like.
I mean, one could argue that because people are like fans of the games are coming out swinging pretty hard against it. Like they're not hyped about it, you know. And then like. I try to think like general audience too, right? Like how much do they know like a new Resident Evil's coming out?
Yeah.
Like, and if that means anything to people besides people like us.
Yeah, I guess we could go with go with Resident Evil for that. I think the main thing is overhyped. I think we can both simultaneously agree upon that Evil Dead is taking that spot. I think just underhyped, like our sleeper pick in general is probably going to be either Leviticus or Camp. I'm going to pronounce this word wrong again. Camp Miasma.
I think,
and those are kind of my general like most hyped ones too. So
I was gonna say for sleeper, maybe this is me giving too much hope in the Insidious franchise, and I should not be putting those chips there. I think the Bleeding World. I watched that trailer and I was intrigued. I was like, oh, okay, they're trying something different. And again, maybe the bar is in hell, and that's why I'm thinking that. So, but I do think Insidious has an opportunity to be like sleeper good, not just like I feel like it's gonna make a ton of money, but no matter what, even if it's good, bad, awful, those movies make money. That's why they keep making them. But I do think it has a real opportunity to be good and to do something different or interesting. I could also be completely wrong and it's gonna be schlock, but
or it could be Sinners.
Or it could be somehow we're gonna get a Sinners, the 7th movie or 6th movie, and a major franchise is finally gonna figure it out. I think overlooked, definitely Her Private Hell. I don't think anyone knows that movie.
Should have said that one.
Well, but like I also don't even know if anyone's thinking about that movie. Like I don't think there's like a huge unfounded fan base of Drive lovers out there, you know. Like anyone that I know that's seen that movie that isn't like into movies, they go, yeah, weird movie, Ryan Gosling's in it. And that's like all they take away from what happened in that. Overhyped, we are agreed. Evil Dead Burn. I am worried. I mean, I'm still gonna go see it. I do think though, like, I don't know how a lot of folks watched that trailer and didn't come out just slightly more concerned that we might be getting a dud.
I'm gonna be honest. When I opened up Twitter and I saw everyone raving about it, and I watched the trailer, I was like, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, did we watch the same thing?
Yeah, like I'm glad we're on the same wavelength because I felt a little crazy. I was like, I don't know.
I still feel crazy because everyone's like, even I keep seeing like some Evil Dead, like some bigger accounts like post about how excited they are, and I'm just like, I don't know, something's not clicking for me. But most of my friends that watched the trailer, they agree with the same thing. They were actually the ones that like told me about this, and I watched the trailer. First 5 seconds, I kind of knew. I was like, nope, this is not going to be for me.
It's like, this is like the first time I'm watching something like this, and I just don't, I don't know. My inclination is to think that, like, if this wasn't an Evil Dead movie, and I don't like doing hypotheticals, but I'm going to do it. And I saw that trailer, I would probably not even think about it after I saw it. Because like it would look like some early 2010s demonic possession horror movie, and it would be out of sight, out of mind, and like that's what worries me. I'm sure the film is going to be lit better once it comes out, and I'm able to see it in a theater. I'm sure there are things that maybe they're hiding, because I have seen some rumors that people are like making connections to both Rise and maybe like Ash versus the Evil Dead. And I'm like,
okay.
I'm not into, like, I've seen all the properties, I've seen all that stuff. I'm not into, like, the lore that much, where I'm like, first and foremost, I want a good movie, good story. If it ties in to the other stuff, great. But it's not a necessity for me. I'm like, we want this to be good first and foremost, and then we can make it make sense later if we want to combine stuff. But
absolutely agree.
And then,
I think that's a good transition into kind of our goal then for this next video, to kind of explain. So originally I was thinking we could do like a top 5, but there's not enough movies, and I expect we're probably going to watch all these movies anyway, so it would be kind of pointless to do like a top 5 out of like 7 movies. So it would just be dumb to do that. So this summer we're gonna do a part 2 of this podcast and really dive into just ranking all these summer movies, and maybe if there's a couple that we missed, and I don't think we missed any, but if there's a couple here and there that have like surprise releases, we might add it into this list. But yeah, I'm very interested to see the summer 2026 horror blockbuster. I think last year was great, so it's going to be tough to top. When we had like Sinners, Weapons last year.
I know it was a good year for horror.
Frankenstein. But that's what makes film exciting. So I'm very interested to see how it goes, and hopefully Evil Dead Burn surprises us. Who knows? Maybe it'll be number 1 at the end of the list. I'd be very, very surprised, but that's what makes this interesting. So we're gonna come back and watch all the movies and just rank everything, and just overall just go over how we felt on some of these movies.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, we get surprised. Just generally, when we come back to do this, I'm hoping the ones that it always happens to me, where like the ones that I'm most worried about usually end up being fine, and then the things where I was like, this is going to be a surefire, they've never done anything bad, it's going to come back and I'm going to be like, oh geez. So here's why I hated Evil Dead Burn.
In a way, that's what kind of worries me about Leviticus a little bit. It's almost like too hyped, and I have a hard time going into a movie I'm extremely hyped for, because then if I do that, most times I just become disappointed when I leave the theater. So I try to go with an open mind through every movie, whether it's good, the reactions are good, bad. Just going to go in with an open mind with all these movies, and hopefully we get some good ones. Hopefully they're not all bad.
It's certainly a possibility, but no, I think there's too many good directors behind some of these for anything to. As long as it's not boring, I can deal with choices that I don't love or think work. But if something's boring, I think that's a cardinal sin. I'm like I shouldn't be bored in your horror movie. I should maybe be angry, hopefully scared, emotional, but can't be boring. That's really, to me, that's like the one thing you cannot be. I cannot be bored throughout
absolutely.
this.
Well, Sam, thank you for coming on to this podcast. So do you have any conclusions for the audience at all? We appreciate you hopping on, or like where they can find you. I know you're on TikTok at Sam Talks Movies, which we'll add into the link below. Um, is there anywhere else that you want to give a shout out to, or any conclusions for the audience, send offs?
Um, no, listen, I love watching movies. I think well, actually, first and foremost, thank you for having me on. It's been a while since I've done anything like this, so I am always excited to chat with new folks about anything and everything related to films, and film news and breaking down stuff. So, my parting words for the audience would be go watch some horror movies this summer. We have so many coming out. We didn't even list all of them. And just the next 2 months, we're getting, I think, 4 or 5 new ones. And I think, some of these might actually surprise you. In terms of where to find me, thankfully, all of my accounts are just my name. So you can find me on TikTok. It's Sam Talks Movies, or Sam Tuero. That's just SAMTUERO. It's the same deal on for IG and on YouTube Shorts. I talk about all things film and film news all the time, and I also go on live to talk letterbox stuff with folks. So you can always find me there, and I am an avid letterbox user. So you can find me at the same as well. So, but genuinely,
Awesome.
had a great time chatting all horror movies.
Absolutely. This was great. I'm excited for part 2. So stay tuned for that. That'll come out probably around September, I think. It's like a good time. We'll probably cap it at Resident Evil. I think that's
that'll be a
good cap. Technically, it's over the summer mark, but
I mean, listen,
or
we're gonna feel so passionately about one of these, or maybe multiple of these movies. We'll just have to dedicate time to talk about.
Yes. So stay tuned for some of those, because I have a feeling there might be a couple.
Definitely.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. This was the Slashcast. We'll see you guys. We'll see you ghouls next video. So take care.
Bye, y'all.